starting to the bottom of the map, we have the AZUBU player, the ace player today for the team. It is
AZUBU, Patience.
He played against his opponent already earlier today. Now this is his second chance. He's the one who prepared specifically against this opponent. This is the second shot that he gets to take him out. So the top of the map, we have the Seoul player, the WCS Premier League champion in Korea, Season 3. It is
Seoul Deer.
And I mean, I said it before, I really feel like this is not about AZUBU, this is just about Patience. Patience said, please give me another chance, and the coach said okay. And that's all there is to say about it, and this is all about, like, the chances of him beating Deer, especially what we saw before, are small. They are slim. They are incredibly slim. And
well, he prepared for
he
for
did
Deer,
prepare
so that's
for
the
it.
one thing that that definitely speaks for him as a choice, but the fact is, there are better players on this team that could have been chosen. But Deer, can he do it again? He did it in the first game. He started very, very aggressively against his opponent. Now the Seoul coach, of course, probably telling him, let's play this one safe. We want to win at least another match this GSTL season. We don't want to go down with only one victory.
Going into this, we have both players double gassing. No 10 gate from Deer this time. He was very aggressive in their previous game. As you can see, Deer having a much better ratio here, 8-1 in GSTL versus Patience, not able to take a single map against Seoul. And on this map, we've seen a lot of proxies behind the mineral line. Whether it's your own mineral line you proxy behind to try to hide DTs, or you're trying to hide Stargates in the most obvious place. And it is Patience who sends the probe out first here, most likely for a scout, but he could also be planning a proxy. And that's probably something that Deer will expect. But he goes second gate, so that itself says, okay, this is going to be a scout, almost 100%.
Yeah, he's going to find out what exactly Deer is doing. And Deer is, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. After the first game, this is definitely very different. In game number 1, he started off with a 10 gate and was very, very aggressive. Maybe even a little bit too aggressive. It gave him a lead, but he lost 2 Stalkers and also lost 1 of the Zealots. So he got the better trade because Patience cancelled his Nexus, which he did not necessarily need to do. But right now we have Deer, of course, with the more experience, definitely the better player in general, but Patience in a best of 1, maybe he can pull that off. It would be epic for them if actually this player is now able to secure the win for AZUBU. But Deer is the one who starts things off with the Twilight Council this time, and that is what we saw Patience do in game number 1.
This is a great map for Blink Stalkers. If he does decide to go down that route, one of the best, because you can also blink from behind the natural. You can do damage from there if you have vision against an expansion. But he's up against more pressure. This is the time that Deer is pressured. He actually has 2 gates against him. And a good scout here so far by Patience. He checks everywhere, just making sure there's no proxies, nothing that is hidden. And he's going to want to find that forward pylon, and it is going to be a blink build, so there's the blink being chrono boosted. I like Patience's chances here if he doesn't make a Nexus right now. If he tries to make a Nexus and hold that without a Robo, he's going to be in trouble. He's making sentries now. He's playing his very creator style, like as safe as it gets. 2 gates into sentries, and here we go, a little micro battle here, and actually with the Time Warp, oh, he barely misses it.
Yeah, but we have that forward pylon now for Patience. So currently in his own main base, in terms of structures, he had those extra gateways. We have the Robo now coming up.
Yeah, that's key in defending a Blink Stalker timing.
Yeah, but the Blink is already halfway done, so it's going to be a bit close. He's going for that expansion pretty soon, as the probe already on the low ground. The pylon was found. Deer is taking it out, so that prevents Patience from warping in Zealots later and running them into the mineral line in the main base.
Yeah, he does also not know about his opponent's forward pylon. He doesn't know it's Blink Stalkers. He starts a Nexus.
There it is.
And identifying that this is what he's up against is the most important thing, because if he can stop the high ground vision, if he can kill a mothership core...
And talking about vision, he doesn't see it.
Yeah, he doesn't see it, man. And this is actually starting to look really good for Deer, because it's a matter of a lack of information, and 1 Stalker already falls for Patience.
That's not what you want.
No, definitely not. And now he sees the Stalkers are attacking him. He doesn't know it's Blink, but he can assume he wants to start an Immortal right away.
And he doesn't.
He doesn't have he's supply blocked. His pylon is not complete.
Yeah. Now there we go. Now he can start it. And we have the Immortal started, but Blink is completed.
He needs to put the force field perfectly on the ramp, and he has to deal with the Mothership Core as well.
Where's that high ground vision?
Well, there it is.
There we go, but, well, the force fields are not really what you want there. Where's the Mothership Core, by the way?
Yeah,
Am I crazy?
I'm not sure. I know he had one earlier. He starts an Observer now. Guardian Shield is up. The Blink Micro here from DR decent, but there's actually so many units on the high ground, and with the Force, it's a little bit awkward to engage, and there's the Immortal. And that's
Immortal is
it.
there, and that's going to help him, but the expansion has been started for Dia, and Patience doesn't have one, so right now there's not a whole lot that he can do. He's going to be...
He's going to get contained.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely contained by his opponent. With 2 sentries already warped in, he can use the force fields to split the army, so Patience is trapped.
Yeah, he has the better tech, but his economy is going to severely suffer from this. All that Deer has to do is try to keep that base up.
That's a cute move there.
Yeah, I like that. Using the high ground to warp some Zealots down there and send them over to scout, harass. But like you said, this is going to be a big problem with the contain. Only 2 sentries is all he really needs, because he's only going to need 1 or 2 force fields to chop this army up and spit it out. And the tech is not that far ahead, because the first Immortals for Deer are now on the way as well.
Here comes the Observer, and therefore also the high ground vision. It's not like he's going to blink up that ramp now. We have, on the other hand, the Warp Prism started for Patience, who also goes into the Robotics Bay, whereas Dia goes for the Stargate.
That's interesting. I wonder if he will go Void Rays from here, because that would actually work well for him against the Competition bases. So Scout here sees the Stargate, if he clicked it. And the Bay is, of course, useful because the Colossi... Oh my god, he's actually he's just gonna go for the flank in the surround here. There's the force field, though. And he can actually fight this if he micros correctly.
Well, it's actually a lot, though.
Oh, yeah, with the Zealots there, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, the Zealots are the big deal here, and I'm not quite sure if he can really defeat that. The Immortals are doing a lot of damage, and those 2 sentries are also goners.
Yeah, he overstayed his welcome, is what Patience is telling him here right now.
Why did he not move back immediately when he saw that warp in? That's what I don't understand. He tried to fight at the beginning, but he lost so much because of it right now.
All right, well, Patience, we'll see. Will he learn from his mistake in game number 1? His opponent was ahead in economy.
He shouldn't be too patient here, because at this point he has the better army and also the better army supply.
Exactly, and this time he's not doing the same as the last time. He's not sitting and waiting.
With
the Void Rays
already there, and I don't. If he moves out, I don't think he can really do anything, especially with the Void Ray coming out now.
He might be able to take some trades though, and I think he should at least poke. He's concerned about the pylon and counterattack, so he goes back. And, you know, even little things like this actually gives Deer a good chance to continue to get his defensive units up. The Void Rays are never going to be the exact unit you want in the late game. But in this weird type of scenario, like, this is the best. In PvP, you don't see Void Rays very often anymore, but this is, like, the only type where you want it, where you're like, I need something to deal with his Immortals and his Stalkers that are going to be barreling down on me for the counterattack. And don't forget also that Deer still has Blink, so his Stalkers can actually out-micro his opponents.
That income is so much better for Deer.
And it's going to be that way for a while.
Yeah, Patience has to do something.
Look at his probe count, too, 42 to 32.
Yep. 10 Harvests behind, still 1 Mineral Line against 2. He has that Colossus out. Second Void Ray is nearly there.
Yeah.
For Deer, of course, and that's going to help him. The second is actually there.
Can he force seal the ramp, though? No, the unit's already there. This is not going to work. This is not going to happen. He knows about the Void Rays too.
Yeah, and Patience just walks up.
Maybe the best course of action here is to try to take a risky 3rd base if you're Patience, because just sitting on 2 base here, the Void Ray count's getting insanely high. I mean, goodbye Warp Prism. I don't know what he's thinking of the Warp Prism here against Void Rays. He's not going to get that warping, I don't think.
Well, no, it was close, yeah. So that doesn't work, and the warping on the other hand for Dia is solid. The Void Ray is going to shut that down, and Dia moves out again, trying to apply some pressure on his own. He's in a position where he takes the lead in the overall supply and also in the army supply. He's still ahead in the harvest account and has the better income, for sure. Could also...
no range, if I'm not mistaken, either on that bay.
No, not yet.
So that's and it's something he's going to want eventually. He wants to save all of his gas, though, for dealing with this push that's coming at him. The Void Rays, there are 4 of them and only 7 Stalkers. I'm no mathematician, but I'll tell you that that's not enough. Yeah. The overcharge, on the other hand, if he targets the Void Rays with that, he will have to target. He's killing his own probes because he wants to get a Stalker out. This is something you don't see very often, but in a desperate situation like this, it's totally worth it. Kill your probe, get it out, and there's a blink in the main!
And now he takes on even more harvest.
And that's 1 overcharge he has to use.
33 against 44 now, and he doesn't even blink down, he just stays over there. He knows that there's no vision, now the Immortal's moving in. And this is where, once again, Dia just puts up front lines, and now we go, here come the force fields. The Void Rays moving in immediately and going down at the Stalker. They're actually taking down the Colossus first.
There's no overcharge. He used too much energy earlier, and that is going to be it. There's no way he could deal with this. The Void Rays go to town, and Deer will take the 2-0, and he will take the match. There's no way for him to stop this. Blink on top of the Immortals, and that is going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. GG.
Well, there is the second victory for Soul in the second round of the GSTL Season 2.
If AZUBU's looking for a win, they made the wrong choice in the ace. And, you know, Patience was looking for his win, but he still couldn't get it. And I want to see a camera shot of him. There we have it. He wanted to face Deer again. He wanted his revenge, and he didn't get it. You got to feel for him, though. You know, I really respect the AZUBU coach for letting him do that, despite the fact that I think a lot of people would be disappointed to see that. He put up a good fight. And that was the last chance he's probably ever going to have in his StarCraft 2 career to face Deer, one of the best players in the world, and his coach let him try it. Yeah. And that's all there is to say about that.
There's not a lot to say about that choice. I mean, the AZUBU coach made a couple of choices this season where he was proven right, but that was definitely not a choice that you make if you want to win that game.
You know, the thing is, if you're the AZUBU coach, you definitely want to pick Supernova if you want to have the best chance of winning, but even Supernova against Deer is going to be a tough one. Here's our individual rankings.
Still, we're talking about Patience over Supernova here. The guy that already lost against the same player and is nowhere near the level of Supernova. Nothing against Patience. I mean, it's not like the kid is bad or anything, or that he doesn't have a potential like future out there for him in StarCraft 2. But you can't compare Supernova or Deer to like Patience. It just doesn't fly. That doesn't fly in experience. That doesn't work. Like maybe a few years down the road, but at this point, just no.
Deer actually passes his teammate Trap and takes the second place in the individual rankings because of this, because he has a better win ratio.
Right? No, not 1.
8-4, I think, versus 8-6.
Something like this, yeah.
So he takes that second place spot, so Trap's probably like, oh. Because I think it does close after today.
I personally feel that the coach would never have done that if that match would have mattered.
Yeah,
but like
of course
it is
not.
a show game basically, so that's why we see Patience out there against Deer. And unfortunately for Patience, it didn't work out for him. So
yeah.
his 0-2 against Deer today, basically played a best of 3 against him.
Yeah, I feel like Patience is definitely gonna say, you know, thanks for giving me the chance. I'm sorry I didn't come through for you guys, but I really appreciate you giving me the shot.
I'm wondering if he was hoping that he play against a different player. If he was hoping to play,
that's
let's
why
say,
I was
against
actually
Trap,
hoping he won so we could get the interview, because that would have been like really interesting.
I would really like to know what he was hoping for, because if you send him out, you know that he will be the underdog. You know that. I mean, there's no question about that. But like, did he hope to play against Deer, or did he hope like, okay, yesterday or the last time they sent out Trap, and maybe against another Protoss player, I can have the
PvPs.
Exactly, he practiced PvP, so maybe against another Protoss I can have the result that I didn't get against Deer.
Maybe when we hear from Deer in the interview, he'll say what he thinks about it, and we can at least get some of the insight. So we're going to have that interview right now. First, with the Seoul coach taking his second win in round 2.
If I was the coach, I would feel a little bit weird, because that last game feels a little bit like a present.
Yeah.
So it just says that he's disappointed that they couldn't do better in the first round of the GSTL, so they didn't actually have like a real chance to get into the playoffs. Which is pretty true. Like that broke their backbone or their neck there, basically. Like not winning anything in the first round was very, very difficult for them than in the second round.
He thinks if they performed a little bit better in the first round, then maybe, you know, in the second round, you know, if they did a little bit better there too, like they would have actually been able to edge their way into the playoffs. But they didn't have the momentum, of course. And next season they're going to do their best and try to add a few players to their roster for next season, and maybe they'll be able to do it next season with, you know, a newly restructured team.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I agree with him as well. If with just another victory in the first round, they would have had a much better chance here.
Yeah, just 1 or 2 wins would have helped them quite a bit. And like I said, I really want to hear from Deer now, and there also may be something else going on behind this. Maybe Deer and Patience have some sort of rivalry on the ladder or something.
I highly doubt that.
There could be something, I don't know. So any comments to the fans who came down to the studio, because they got a lot of fans
Maybe
here
Dia
today.
kicked his dog. I don't know. I could see that, but like letter rivalry, I don't think they meet too often.
와서 응원해주시고 챙겨주시고 그냥
He's most thankful to the fans. They always support them,
너무 감사한 것 같아요.
even though they lost a lot in the GSTL.
Did you see the girls pop their heads there because they tried to die at the same time?
I saw that.
다시 저희 경기하고 많이 할 때
It'll take a couple of months before we see you again. And I hope you guys wait for us and come cheer for us in the next season in the GSTL. But you know, they had a ton of fans. The fangirls were going crazy during some of those matches. The Haiba match, especially.
When Haiba won exactly after that, I was like, are those sound effects that production is somehow just putting in there, or is that actually happening in the studio right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of fans here for Seoul. And here's Deer, MVP and ace player.
같은 팀 동료인 조성우 선수를 밀어내고 2위에
You're second place in the individual rankings. How do you feel?
다승 2위 할 줄 몰랐는데 네, 여기 와서 상금 일단 소리 듣고 약간 욕심 나는데
So apparently he didn't even know that they are giving out. Oh,
Yeah, there is some money for second place.
So apparently prize money is being given out for the second place as well. So he secured himself that spot, and he's pretty happy that he was able to get those 2 wins to get into the second place.
He didn't know it until today.
I didn't know that either. I thought it was only the first one.
I think it's like $400.
경기 내적으로 일단
He said he's going to actually treat Trap today because he let him play in order to get the
That's
second
also
place.
showing me like he passed Trap, right?
If I were Trap, I would be like, listen, if you let me play, we can split the money after.
Yeah, we can split the money, but that's about it.
And he actually gets the check.
That's
And it's actually a million won.
$1,000.
That's more than I thought. I thought it was like much smaller than that. So wow, that's actually it's going to take him to a lot of meals for that one.
If I was Trap, I would have said like, no, dear, I'm sorry,
You've
but
already
you're
won
not
enough,
playing.
man. You've already won enough. You've already won enough
Exactly.
money. I don't think so, dude.
You won the season, you have enough money. This is like, let's send anyone else out because I'm second place no matter what happens. That was the only way, the only scenario actually that could have prevented Trap from taking that money. Dia playing and winning. Oh my god. That is like, wow.
Yeah, that was I mean, like the more I think about it, the crazier it is.
Exactly.
I'm like, well, it's $400. Like that's one thing, and I'm like, no,
He
it's
had
a million
that money.
won. Like what?
If any other player plays, Trap gets that money. That's basically Trap saying, yes, I don't need $1,000. Here, take it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is, nothing else.
저는 네, 성호
That manner.
So how did you guys actually decide to put you in the ace match? Is what the Korean commentators are asking. The same thing that we're asking right now. And actually, I discussed it with Trap. And I asked Trap, do you want to play? And he said, no, you should play today and get the second place.
He doesn't want money. He just doesn't want money. That's how it is. I tell you.
I mean, basically he doesn't. I guess he doesn't care about the money, but that's like too noble. That's too honorable. Like, I played last time. You can play this time.
I don't want $1,000. Like that is. I mean, that is crazy. So either he didn't get it. Like that's one explanation. Like that he didn't get it. That he didn't know because Dia just mentioned I didn't know they hand out money for the second place. So either Trap didn't know either, or he just doesn't care. So much mana. So much mana. He gives Dia $1,000.
So I'm sad that our team is not in the playoffs, but I'm happy that our team won the final match, and of course he contributed to that. And he says it's because of the fans. And please keep supporting us in the future. A lot of fans, so many Kespa fans coming to the studio today, and it's I mean, I have to say, like, there was a pretty straightforward match, but the last game was kind of like a gimme, you know, like you said, mentioned before. And I wonder how he feels about that. We didn't ask, so
I'm a little bit blown away still by the fact that he gave him $1,000.
So why are you so strong in the mirror matchup, actually, to close things out? He doesn't like mirror matchups, but he thinks it's working well for him in broadcasted games just the same. So he's basically saying, like, I'm not that good, but I think I'm just happening to win them all. So well, that does it for our pennant race. We are now going into the playoffs.
Yep. Playoffs are going to be next.
And we're going to see, of course, remind you guys who's in and who's out. And to put it in simple terms, Seoul is out and everybody else is in.
gave him $1,000.
he gave him $1,000
That
mana. I mean, if even if Trap plays and loses, he still gets the money.
Trap probably slept with Deer's sister. Something like that must be going on. And he's like, yeah, I owe you one. I owe you one. I know that. Like that's something weird. That is too meta. Nobody's that meta. Not even Trap. And he's a nice guy. I know that.
Something is going on behind the scenes. I don't know, man.
Guys, there we have today's results. Seoul wins over AZUBU with a 4-3. We said at the beginning that it could be a really close one, and that's exactly what happened there. So Trap giving Deer the chance to not only earn $1,000, but Deer also with a double kill against Patience, a 2-0 against his fellow Protoss player, securing Seoul the win. And our next game is going to be next Tuesday, which is going to be a playoff match. And this is AZUBU versus Dartail.
Yeah, we're starting to get into the elimination rounds. You lose here, you're out. And up until this point, it's been just about points and who's got the best standings. And we got to see basically where everybody's level is in terms of the Axamacer is way above everybody else. But AZUBU versus Dartail are second and third place teams going at it right at the start.
Yeah, so far, pretty nice day that we had a couple of really good games actually. I liked the Boom Boom game, to be honest, because it was just a repetition, even though it was over in a flash. We had a very, very aggressive game there by Trap. And just in the history of the match in round 1, round 2, it was interesting to watch. We of course have then on Friday our next game with Axamacer going up against the winner of our first match.
Yeah, final day number 1. So it will be our first day of finals. And it's going to be played over 2 days. And there will be both formats used. The all-kill format will make a small return. Yep. And then we'll have, of course, the Pro League format to close things out. So should be pretty epic.
Pretty busy week.
Yeah, busy week, fun week of matches coming up. So tell your friends, tune in next week. Remind them about the format change, and then Axamacer's got so much hype.
I'm also kind of excited for the next season, to be honest, because with the Seoul coach, as he already mentioned, if they would have done a little bit better in the first round, then they had a very good chance of actually advancing this time. But yeah, if they really add new players, that would help them quite a bit. So
and who knows? I mean, what other teams next season may hold?
Yeah.
Team Epic is being formed right now. There's other teams floating around, so next season could be pretty epic. No pun intended.
Today we had a couple of good games, quite fast ones, actually very aggressive matches. I hope that you enjoyed the show, and of course we're going to see you then next week for our playoffs here at the GSTL. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye-bye.